So unlike a lot of brands, Palace kind of splits up their fall winter into fall and then also the winter, and then they even do even smaller winter drops like Ultimo and stuff like that. So kind of interesting. But right now we have the winter 2019 range that just got released. It's the full collection. So we're going to be looking at that, and the first drop from this collection is actually this upcoming Friday, which is October 4th, I think, and then it's at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've done these before where I don't look at every single item, and then people complain, so I'm not necessarily going to look at every item, but yes, I am going to see it, and I'll give a response, but I'm not necessarily going to like click on it and check out every single view for it, because that's just going to take way too long. But yeah, with that being said, we'll jump into it, start getting these items out of the way, and yeah. So first up, I think the jackets are kind of hideous this collection or this time around. First off, you have the Pea Sail jacket in yellow, kind of decent. It looks like a kind of funky material, probably just waterproof, but it almost looks like it's like leather. If it is leather, I'm definitely not about that. The Handy Core jacket, I do love corduroy products, but the graphic on the back, I just do not care for at all. Obviously, this brown, they're just calling it brown. This brown colorway of the corduroy is beautiful, but you look at the back and that's just disgusting. So I think that is a pass. This Reacto Puff zip-off jacket is garbage, but it is kind of cool because I'm guessing, it turns into a vest. So if you just want to walk around in some sleeves also, you can do that. But yeah, I do like the pieces where you can like zip stuff off and make it just a vest. I do respect that stuff, but I think this one looks terrible. You have the Pert P-Loft jacket, and I'll click on this one quick just because I want to show the back. I really like this design, the like mountains with the palace in the back. They did this a couple seasons ago or a couple collections ago. It started off, they had a sweater, I believe that's when it started anyway. They had a sweater with some color blocking in the middle and then the big mountains in the center. Almost like kind of like some Patagonia stuff or something. But I do like that graphic. Color blocking and material is gross on here though. I guess this one is alright. 3000 Puffa, Garbo, Charred fleece jacket, just Palace over a bunch, trash. Pea Stealth jacket, I guess I didn't really look at this one, so I'm not too sure. That looks like a very strange material and also a pass. But yeah, it is in camo, which kind of makes it look a little bit weird, I suppose. Polartec Reflecto jacket, that's just a Polartec jacket. Stuff jacket, I thought this silhouette was kind of cool. You got the work jacket, but I'm just not a fan of the font that they use. I think the stripe works alright, especially with those work jackets. Kind of looks like a racing thing. So next up we have the Soap Dodger knit, which is probably the most notable piece from the drop in a lot of people's opinions. It really reminds me of something you'd see from Cactus Plant Flea Market. I think that's what it is. Really reminds me of something like that, you know, similar to the Kids See Ghost stuff, if you guys are more familiar with that. But I think this is alright. I definitely couldn't see myself wearing it, like I wouldn't rock this, but it is definitely a piece I can respect, and I'm sure a lot of people are digging this one. The duck is kind of a graphic they're using a lot. Again, this is another knit, which knits are super nice quality, especially Palace. They have really nice knits. But I don't know, I just don't really connect with this graphic too much, I guess. I do like the sleeve text. I'm not 100% sure what it says. But yeah, that's a decent piece, but nothing I would buy. The stuff knit uses that same graphic that I don't really like. Palace toner knit, just repeating Palace all over. Not a big fan of all over stuff. You have the Quack Shirt, which just has the duck on the chest, which I don't really care for. I guess it's alright. If you like the duck, you could probably like that one. I'm kind of disappointed in the flannels they did this season. Usually I really like their flannels, but this season they're using a wavy pattern, and I don't know, this just hurts to look at. It's gross. It might have been cool if they added, like they do a lot for the flannels, they'll put Palace along the back in the big block letters. It would have maybe been cooler to see that, and then have it warped as well. That might have been cool. 3000 shirt, gross. Specsavers shirt, this is kind of like when you go to the eye doctor and have to read off the letters. Kind of whack, I don't know. I wasn't feeling that. Quacked jean, I thought this was interesting how they do the paneling in the denim. Kind of at the knee or a little bit above the thigh, and then on your shin. I thought that was interesting how it's paneled. I don't know, I guess these are decent. Next up you have the Corto Pant, which these I do like. Like I said before, it looks goofy with the circle on the back. But yeah, I do like these. They're probably super baggy, or they're definitely super baggy, and I don't really rock that baggy jeans. You have the Twerk trouser, just a bunch of patchwork, shell pants that go with that, the other pants, just, you know, pants with a lot of the tops we've seen, which nothing notable there. The Dura shell top, I guess this is alright. I feel like we've seen this Sidewinder hood before with the basically stuff that they do. You're gonna see some more of this fader stuff, and I was wondering if there'd be a tri-ferg on the back, but it looks like a lot of the items using, or all of the items using this pattern or graphic design, whatever, they do not include a tri-ferg on the back. It's just the small minimal branding with this kind of tie-dye or faded look. Of course, the joggers to go with them with a kind of interesting vertical stripe rather than before. The duck out hood, once again, I'm not crazy about this graphic. I don't think it's terrible. But yeah, you have Palace spelled out on the back, and then I also believe Palace is spelled out on the front. So on both sides of the sleeves, you're gonna have Palace, which is, I don't know, that's kind of crazy. Those letters are huge for it to be spelled out on both sides. But with the folding, that's kind of what it looks like. One thing I don't like about this, or that I really don't like about this, is how they do the front graphic, and then on the back, it's like the back view of the front graphic. I'm just not a huge fan of when people do that. I gotta eat this before it gets all soggy. Laser lines hood, trash. Metal hood, that just looks normal, I guess we'll find out. Yeah, so it looks like just kind of like a chrome logo or something like that. Nothing crazy. Moon tree, I thought this was underwhelming. The G's hood, and you got like some totems or something in the front, just kind of overlaying on the tri-ferg. They kind of do this a lot this collection, where they just take these images and paste them over the tri-ferg, which I really do not care for, so I don't like this. So now we're coming up on two of the hardest pieces from this collection in my opinion. First up, you have the linear triple fade, and you have the P on the front, and then a nice big tri-ferg on back. And I feel like this is super like 80s retro with the fade, and then especially this colorway. I'm not too sure about the other colorways. Yeah, so it looks like they do similar ones, I guess. I guess this one is probably my favorite, the navy with the like very 80s feel with the colorways. And then the next one I was talking about, of course, was this D-Boss P3 hood, and the D-Boss just means that it has depth to it. I'm not sure how they make it, but it's really cool. I had a Supreme hoodie like this before with it spelled out on the hood. But yeah, this is a cool design. And then you just got like some decent colorways. This dark green is actually really cool. But yeah, I like all these colorways. So far, zip hood, just kind of like their basically stuff, but just has a small little tri-ferg. I was hoping there's gonna be more when I clicked on that, like a little bit better. Roundhouse, just an arc Palace logo. Dialer crew, is there something going now? That's trash. So yeah, the high sport crew, not too crazy about this. Got like a question mark in the center, not too sure what that's all about. Might have to do with their golfing stuff that they have later on that you'll see. You have this discus guy. I don't know, I guess it's alright. Kind of looks like it's embroidered, which will be nice, but just not really feeling it. Big Greek vibes though. Wow, that graphic is gross. So the knockout crew, the KO crew, I think this one's pretty cool. I don't think it's crazy, but as far as this season goes, I think this is one of the better ones. You got the eye exam top again, another one of those whack designs. Flat stand. So I haven't seen this one before, but this is just weird. PTV long sleeve. I don't like how repeated everything is on the sleeves. There's just way too much repetition on there, but I do think the front graphic or the center logo is cool. So this is the Pair of Hippies long sleeve tri-ferg, and this kind of goes off what I was saying earlier, how they just kind of take stuff and overlay on the tri-ferg, which I'm not a fan of. I don't know, I don't think that's cool. The American football jersey, which I think this colorway, it looks a lot better than this gray one. I think this gray one's so ugly. Black one's alright, I guess. But yeah, I just do not like these. So I didn't see this before. The London Wave t-shirt definitely looks like some presidential candidate stuff. But then you go into the other colorways and it obviously mismatches. But yeah, that white and blue one definitely looks like that. And I also do like the ribbing that they have around the neck, and then the bottoms of the sleeves as well. Some more just simple stuff. The fader one we looked at. Sideline t-shirt, I mean, I'm not gonna click on that, it's kind of whack. DPM t-shirt, just camo, basically. Super Palace t-shirt is whack. I don't like that design. This one I thought was alright. This one's alright. The Peas Open Doors t-shirt. If you guys can't tell, there's some hands kind of forming a triangle and then a P in the center. So I think that's cool. I really like how they fade out the design instead of doing like a hard cutoff with a box. I think that's cool. And then also the colorways are decent for this. So these other t-shirts are all kind of trash, so I'm not gonna look at them. The love triangle is kind of alright. Kind of a play on some like TMZ stuff where you got the celebrity love triangle, but instead of the triangle, of course, you have the triferg. A couple different colorways. Probably the best one's that gray, I would say. So this is the corn t-shirt. It looks like you have a unicorn getting struck on the horn tip by lightning. And then a also lightning-esque triferg behind him in the background. One thing I don't like about this is how it's just like the hard box that the image is in. Like before we saw with the hands, I really liked how they faded that one out. I think it would have been cool to see something like that here, or maybe have that lightning go like all over it. That would have been cool. The Mash Eye shirt, which, yeah, we're talking about stuff that's hard to look at. This would be one of them. Also, like, I really don't like how it's just a massive box. The U figure, triferg. This is probably the best one out of the ones where they're just overlaying stuff on the triferg. And that being said, still not a fan of it. Alright, so starting off strong with the hats, you have the scrubbed shell hat, which has this graphic with the mountains that I was talking about before that I really like. I also really like the hats that drop down, so this one's good for me. Next up, you have two buckets, pretty basic. The first one has that shiny material, so that's out for me. The next one has some Palace taping, pretty plain, nothing too much to be said there. Moving on, I do like this flaming pea cap, but I wish they would have put a colorway that matched the socks that they did from the 2 collections ago, I think, where it was black and then they had the red pea with the flames, the red flames anyway, because this does come in a couple different colorways, none of which match the socks. So the next two that stuck out to me were the Pea Wool Hat, which I don't know how comfortable wool is going to be on your head with a baseball cap. And then you have this corduroy pea hat, which I do like, and they got a bunch of different colorways for you if you like it as well. So you also got a bunch of different beanies. You got the duck beanie, the pea flame one with the full spell out, the pocket beanie, which I guess is probably the best beanie. Not too much to be said there though. It's kind of weird how you get the wick coming off the top, or whatever you want to call that, the little node up there. A nib beanie, some other kind of whack beanies, not feeling any of those. And then for the socks this season, they went with some duck socks. So this gets us more into the accessories. Everything kind of goes off this really like high fashion design where I'm not sure who they're mocking or who they're like biting off with this style, but I've definitely like seen this before. But it definitely looks like super high fashion. And then it's also really interesting because with all the bags that they're doing, you don't have the backpacks, the shoulder bags, the shop bags, which have definitely been sitting around longer in the recent seasons, so that's maybe why they swapped. But you have these more like high fashion bags. And included in with that same pattern, you have the belt that matches. For the pendant, this collection, you have the Pharaoh pendant, going with some of those trifergs we saw. We have a Pea Stealth Camo umbrella, which, so this stealth graphic or this pattern or material, it works for an umbrella, but with the other stuff, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. You have golf balls, which are kind of cool, and they use this bulldog, which I don't believe we've seen in this collection. I thought it was kind of interesting that they used the bulldog rather than using a duck, or the duck that we've been seeing. And then we have the bulldog ashtray. Then you have the triferg tray. Looks like a pretty good sized tray. Says good for carrying large groups of shots about, so it's probably got like a decent size. The bangle pin, I don't know, just a circle. Keychain, key ring, which looks like a blackberry, which they referenced blackberry the last collection. And then this brings us to the boards, which I didn't look at yet, but these are pretty decent. Yeah, I like these boards. These boards are pretty good as far as the Palace boards usually go. So that wraps up the drop. I'm really disappointed in this collection from Palace. I really just don't think it's very good. I don't see anything in there that I would buy for myself. There were, of course, some pieces that I can respect, like that knit. That's a crazy piece for a lot of people, I'm sure. But for me, that's just not something I would wear. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think of it. Like I said, not crazy about this drop at all. Probably be sleeping on the whole collection from Palace. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and that's it.